what's up? I'm Brian here doing another video for you guys, and this time we're taking a look at the Transformers Generations Earthrise War for Cybertron. This is the Ironworks figure. So, yeah, it's a little different compared to his original version. His original one was just the Micromaster, and you get that in the Micromaster 10-pack, which I'm going to look into getting. However, in this new Earthrise lineup, the bases are now the Transformer, which I kind of feel like they could have just had the Micromaster go along with these bases, and that would be pretty cool, but I'm not opposed to this idea because there's a couple of tricks here that I really do enjoy, and I like the overall way on how they do this. So let's take a look at the base mode. This is pretty much the basic base mode that they got, and I really do like how they designed this. So you got a couple of different ramps. It all comes in different parts, which we will take a look at. But I like this crane tower, which can rotate, so that's pretty cool. Can move up and down from this joint, and you can even rotate the hook, so that's pretty cool. A lot of fun with that. This is for the Micromasters, and they will fit Micromasters. Unfortunately, I forgot to bring out some of them. So you're just going to have to use your imagination with that, but they can use the ramps and stuff on the side. This uses the new system of clips, so you can attach stuff here, 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 you can attach stuff here. So yeah, pretty good use of that. And I like how they display this and give you a lot of room in this mode, because this tower is set off to the side, so it doesn't use too much space and makes everything look a little bit bigger, so I really do like that. You can also move the ramp at the front, and again, I wish I brought out sound barrier to really show off that configuration of you can use the Battle Masters to attach and make bridges. You can use Omega Supreme and, you know, expand off of that. There's some pretty cool things you can do with this. And of course, you can change things up. You got the gun right here, and I like how the other piece of the gun is being used as a support. And yeah, not much else to say except this clip is really hard to get at because of this hip joint and because the paint is really thick. Anything that's yellow, they put over with this kind of goopy black paint, and I get the point of that. It's meant to look oily, like industrial or something, but the problem with that is it thickens things up and makes everything difficult to attach. It's not the worst thing, but there are a couple of things to keep your attention on, and one of the things is that clip system. But I have managed to get that in, so, you know, I shouldn't complain too much about that. So with that out of the way, that is the first base mode. Oh, and there's also peg holes right here and here, so that's good. Let's take a look at the other one. While we detach it, I'll take a look at the parts. So, you've got a basic ramp with a side port right there, so that's nice. You got these, which it has two of them, which are completely mirrored. These are also the legs. You also have this mid-yellow section, and then this ramp, which is similar to this, except it's got the hip joint at the bottom. You've got this crane section, which can also detach the crane itself if you want to use that. It's on a basic 5mm peg. You've got this part of the gun, and you have this part of the gun. And, of course, you have this main tower section. So, with all these parts, let's take a look at another one of the base modes. To start off with, you want to open up the legs like that, and open up this leg like that. And in the instructions, they show that you can... Oop, that fell down. Don't know where it is. Let me go get it. There it is. You can take all these ramps, and you can plug it in like so and have this super long ramp, except, yeah, that's going to be a problem. So, don't know what they were thinking, but at least you can do that. So, it's an option. There is another base mode, which I will take a look at right now. This was used in one of the Micromaster stock images, but you take the legs, you combine it like so. You take this, and I think you plug this in this way. I'm trying to build this based off memory, so if I get something wrong, I do apologize for that. And I believe this plugs onto the side here like so. This will plug in like so. I'm not sure of the configuration of that, but it doesn't really matter. This will plug onto the end, like so. Really difficult to get that in. And then that's supposed to fold up like that, but I guess it doesn't really matter. And then with this crane section, you're supposed to bring this down and plug that in like so. And that's supposed to be a support system. You take the crane and plug that onto the bottom there just to have it somewhere. And then you take this and you combine that like so. And then this will just attach onto the side like that. And there you have another base mode type thing. I think this is supposed to be like a rocket ship ramp, because I think the stock images have this with that 2-pack of the rocket ship Micromasters. I could be entirely wrong, but yeah, this is just another additional thing that you could do if you want. It's not the best looking thing, but it's something that's there. So let's take a look at another base mode that's more like the original Generation 1 toy that people recognize. I will detach everything like so. And just do that quickly. No sense in going over exactly how everything disconnects. I will keep the gun together though. And I will keep the crane together like so. You're going to open these ramps up like that. You're going to take this top section like so. And you're going to plug that onto the top like that. You're going to take this ramp and plug it in like so, so that this is sticking out the side, so it's matching with the red on the knees. You're going to combine that like that. Plug that right there. Move this peg up. Take this and attach it to here like so. I'm going to rotate that around. Take the gun. You're going to plug that right on the front. And lift the camera up a little bit. And then this just sticks onto the top. One thing you must note is I had to shave the peg right here. The paint was just so thick that it was not allowing it to attach. But I did manage to sand that down from the inside. And now that's much better. And there is the tower mode. This is similar to his original design. It doesn't have that red propeller fan thing, but otherwise it's got a little crane at the front. I kind of wish they attached it here, but I totally understand why they did it. It's more like a gunner section now. But I really like this tower section, and I actually built this wrong. You're supposed to open this up, and then flip this up, and then attach that here. I'm pretty sure someone already went crazy in the comments. But what's good about this tray section is you can attach a, well, not attach, but you can sit a Micromaster inside there. So that's nice. And you got a little ramp section that you can just drive into if you want. I'm not sure if you're going to use the clips for any of this, but otherwise, you know what? This looks pretty cool. So yeah, let's take a look at another combination mode. Alright, to do the next one, we gotta bring out Wheeljack. And this is much like the original, what were they called? The Weaponizer figures. So these are called modulators, but they pretty much use the essential similar gimmick as those original Weaponizer figures. So we're going to detach all this again. We don't have to detach the gunner section. But for this, we want to open that up and bring that peg in. And we're going to, for Wheeljack's sake, fold these up. And they actually show that in the instructions. You can also detach the rocket launcher, but there's no sense in doing that. You're going to attach this onto the side right here. The legs do something pretty cool. So when you fold these up and attach them to the feet, of course I dropped that. You attach that to the feet like so. They also cover up the legs, so I do like that a lot. You're going to do that to this side as well. And then, what else are you going to do? You're going to take this. I'm going to leave that bottom peg like so. You're going to attach that. And this is supposed to connect onto there. It's not really the best thing. It's just a giant ramp on his shoulder. You can bring it forward and try to cover him up, but yeah, it's kind of loose too, so I'm not entirely sure what they were thinking on that. But you can do that. Come around to the back, open this up, like so. Straighten this out like that. Bring down the peg. Take this, plug that onto here. And you're gonna plug that right onto the back, like so. Like that. And then you're going to take the rocket gunner thing, whatever, and plug that onto the top like so. And there's Wheeljack with a bunch of armament. And yeah, it's not the best thing. I think the cog and the brunt is much better than this. I mean, of course, you got a whole bunch of ramps and parts everywhere. It's not going to look like the best thing, but I appreciate that they tried to implement it into the Earthrise line at the very least, because it was a fun gimmick and it, you know, opens up the opportunity to do a lot more things. You could also combine the feet if you want. But yeah, this ramp sticking off to the side, not really the best thing. I do like the crane coming off the shoulder like that, especially for Wheeljack. This scoop thing, I don't mind, but the feet are pretty cool in how that's designed, especially with Wheeljack, because he's got such big feet, and it just goes right over that, so that's pretty cool. So, I do kind of like it, but I'm just not going to use it for anything other than, hey, it's a fun toy, and, you know, they are toys after all, but otherwise, yeah, don't really care for it. So, let's go ahead and just transform it all into its separate thing, and then I will show you the robot mode. So I'm just folding everything up to where they were supposed to be, like so. Alright, now we got everything in parts. Oh, gotta take the gun off. Let's go ahead and combine it. So, we're gonna take this ramp with the waist section, and we're gonna plug that onto the back like so. Oh, and fold up the head. That will rotate around like so. Make sure that the peg on the front is flipped up. I'm sorry if you couldn't really see that. But there's a peg and a hole, and a peg and a hole. They will attach. What I mean by that is, I know I sound confusing. Peg, hole, hole, peg, will attach. There you go. On the back here, there are 2 pegs and 2 holes. Doesn't really matter what side you put it on. You can put it this way, you can put it on this way. I like to have the tab onto this side, because it makes it look more like this is stemming off of that. Let's see. We're going to take the legs, pull out the upper legs, and we're going to plug that onto the hips like so. And they are much better than some of the other, what were they again? Weaponizer figures. I keep forgetting the name, but yeah, there we go. We're going to take the crane, rotate it like so, and plug that onto the side like that, and we're going to open this arm section like that. It is on a double joint, but the paint, again, is so thick on the lower arm that I just generally use the upper section right here. It's on a double joint, so I just use that, the one closer to the shoulder. And we plug that onto the side like so. And there's a number of things we could do with the gun. We could plug that into the hand, which looks cool. We could plug that into the crane, but most stock images show that on the shoulder, and I don't mind that. It's like a smokestack type thing, so I like that. And there is Earthrise Ironworks in his robot mode, and I gotta say, he looks pretty cool. Some of the yellow paint chipped off inside here, which is kind of weird, but he looks pretty decent. I love the head sculpt with the red paint applications. There's no separation from the visor and the face, but it does look very nice. I like the opposite colors right here with the red in here, but unpainted right there. Or is it silver? I think it's unpainted. You also have some foot tilt, which is nice, but it doesn't really go too far. It only goes to about there. But he looks very nice. Yeah, I definitely do like this, because it's different. You know, he's abnormal, but he does feel like some sort of construction guy. He looks like he can work with Wheeljack and Hoist and all them and grapple, so that's pretty cool. And you can open up the chest. It doesn't really do anything, but you could do that if you want. Yeah, he's just really cool. You could also use this peg as a gunner section if you want. There's a hole on the other side of here, so if you want to extend that off, you could totally go ahead and do so, or you can even use the crane, plug that onto here, and use the gunner right there. Options, you've got a ton of them. Articulation, you got ball joint in the head, shoulders for the back, out and in. That's on both sides. You got rotation below on both sides. On this arm, you got a double joint. On this side, you just have the one. You also have the hook that rotates on this side. For the waist articulation, it's kind of weird. So it's connected onto the back, but it still allows you for side to side. Not a full rotation, but you don't really need it. It does kind of worry me on that joint. It feels a little wobbly, but, you know, it's there. Forward, back, and it's a soft ratchet, so that's nice. Out and in, rotation below, knee joint, and again, that foot tilt. So articulation is fairly decent, that's fine. You could also use the peg hole on the side here, you just have to detach it. So if you want more of that Siege, Earthrise gimmick of attaching weapons, you could totally do that with this. So that's nice. And he's got peg holes on the bottom of the feet too, so you can totally use that. Nothing on the back though, it completely covers anything up, so yeah. And you could say that this ramp just kind of sticks up on the back there just to get out of the way, but you know, at the very least it gets out of the way and kind of cleans it up so it's not looking weird. Yeah, it's hollow on the back of the legs, but it kind of looks like shelves inside there, so I kind of like that. But yeah, again, I like the coloring, I like the gunmetal, I like the yellow. The goopy plastic, I'm not sure, or the goopy paint job, I'm not sure about, but I kind of get what they're going for with this toy. And yeah, I just like him, you know? He's different, he's a new, I don't want to say new character, because technically he's not, but it's a new way of doing this character, and I don't necessarily mind it, because I don't think it ruins, essentially, Ironworks from his original design, because he is still similar to that original tower and base mode, whatever you want to call it. So he still has that, and you do have the Micromaster in that 10-pack. So it's not like you're losing anything from the original Ironworks, but you're given something else as well. You're given something extra. You're also given that little gimmick of, you know, all these parts that you can just configure in different ways, and you can buy more Ironworks and attach to make bigger bases. You could also get other base Transformers and attach it with that, so that's pretty cool. And before anyone says, well, now it's parts forming, if you look at some of the original base Transformers, they pretty much did a similar thing. You had little ramps and weapons and stuff like that that you would have to attach to the vehicles. So it's not out of the ordinary. I do like it overall. I think it's pretty cool. I'm excited to see what else they put out, and I think this is a pretty good toy. If you disagree with me on that because of the modular gimmick, well, you're kind of missing out, and you're kind of just, you know, you're dismissing anything that would be essentially cool with this figure. The fact that it detaches and the fact that it's a parts former is kind of the essential gimmick for this, and it's not a new thing. Other Transformers have done it, so anyone who's still upset with that should probably get over it. I mean, it's cool when a Transformer just transforms, but, you know, with a gimmick like this where it's kind of necessary for it, I don't mind. So with that out of the way, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching.